So Alison was at school with you?
No, she went to she went to the enemy school. There was two schools, you know, two.
Yeah, I hear you.
And she, my best friend Rob was in a punk band with her called the Vandals. And so I got to see the Vandals a few times, and also she was in a few R&B bands, which I saw. We didn't know each other, and I just she actually advertised in our local paper for a blues band. So I phoned her up and I said, we know each other vaguely, but are you up to doing a demo? And she wasn't interested particularly, but she thought it would be good for her CV to do a demo, you know. So that's what we did.
Were you surprised when you heard the quality of her voice?
Well, I'd heard it already. I heard her sing live. I knew she could sing. I mean, she is an incredible singer.
She is, but my point is, you back then. So now I'd expect you to be able to spot a vocalist in a way that most people can't, because of your experience and because of the ear that you've developed over such a long period of time. But back then, did you think, Jesus, this girl is really special?
Well, I've been listening to music since I was 15 now. I think I knew what a good record was, and a good singer. But I'd never actually heard a good singer live, performed live, and sound as good as a record or even better. So that was new, I suppose. But it was obvious. I mean, she could sing. She was amazing.
And the kind of Yazoo thing, which is this starkly synthetic, super funk, mixed with her very traditional blues female vocal. Was that an intentional recipe, or was it just something that happened?
It was just something that happened. I mean, the song when I wrote Only You, I knew I needed someone that could sing it emotionally, and a lot of the stuff for the first album was us kind of experimenting in the studio. Really, I mean, then even being in the studio was the most exciting thing ever, you know. And again, I say working with the producer Eric Radcliffe, he was one of those guys that would show you everything. So you'd say, "Oh, why the hell does that do this?" Or why can't we make a tape loop that goes around the room? And all those kind of experiments, and he was totally up for it, you know. So I learnt a lot. So there wasn't an intentional sound, and I didn't even think about it really. This is the Juno 60. This is the original synth that we used for Yazoo.
Fantastic.
For the first two albums. It's a polyphonic synth. It has memory, which was kind of a revolution at the time. And then after that came the 106. This was used for live. It's a bit more sturdier, and it's midied. And although they're kind of the same architecture, the Juno 60 still sounds better.
Yeah.
The filters are different.
Okay, so I've heard that, and again it's difficult because you must find it quite humorous that people kind of analyse your methodology and your various moments in your career. And I'm sure that some of it's complete nonsense, but this is what I heard, that many of the tracks on Upstairs at Eric's were done predominantly on a Pro 1, including the percussion. Is that true?
No, most of the percussion, there was percussion done on the Pro 1, but most of the percussion came from the ARP 2600. And we had a TR-828, Roland TR-828, yeah. But the kicks and stuff, they all came from the ARP 26.
But all the lead lines and bass came from a Pro 1?
We had, at that time, we had a Pro 1, Juno 60, and Daniel lent us his ARP sequencer as well. And that was really, or was I using the MC4? No, I was using the MC4, the Roland MC4 by then. You know what that is?
Is it like a CV gate sequencer?
It's a four monophonic CV gate, an analog sequencer that you can program. It's got like a keypad.
Fantastic.
No memory.
Oh man, that's insane. So you would record a track, and essentially that would be it in terms of how that sounded at that one moment.
Yeah, well, the guy that engineered it was a genius, a guy called Eric Radcliffe. He worked out a way of syncing the sequences, because there's no sync in or sync out of a. So he invented a way of doing a click track basically, so you could then overdub. So because we're all using monophonic synthesizers, so we could then layer of track as opposed to just all play it at once.
Yeah. I saw you guys in Shepherd's Hammersmith Odeon, I think it was. Was that right?
Yeah.
In 2008. How did you? Can you remember what setup you had? Because I'm interested in technologically how you.
I just used the Mac.
You did.
I just used Logic. We got all of the original. We got all the original multi tracks.
Yeah.
Which was scarily out of tune.
Really.
Yeah. And because we used to record everything with reverb, like or listen to. We'd never bothered to listen to it dry.
Yeah, of course.
So then we take the reverb, you realise it's totally out of tune. But so I had to fix a lot of the stuff, a lot of the sounds. But fortunately, what was great about the Yazoo stuff is there's only like 6 or 7 tracks on each song. Yeah. There's a bass line, there's a bass drum, and there's a couple of melody lines. So that was that amazed me actually, because I hadn't listened to that stuff in years, and I suddenly thought, God, this is so minimal.
That's amazing.
And then anyway, so the Mac did most of the work, and I just sort of played some stuff over the top,